Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of one hell of a watch. This is the Cyrus Klepcys. This is the all titanium version, although there are various versions in that white gold, in red gold, versions that mix titanium and gold. This watch originally came out several years ago. And continues to be made by the brand. The brand has been under various ownerships, but I think is under rule right now by a really good group of people that also own the movement design company Chronode, and Chronode's principal designer is a guy named Jean-Francois Mojon, who's the guy that designed the movement of the Klepcys, and he's a very, very talented mechanical watch designer. And he's done some very interesting things over the years, and this sort of represents the type of stuff he likes to do. So just looking at the Klepcys, you are introduced to a lot of information, a lot of stuff that looks very strange. It's not immediately apparent how to tell the time and what is going on the dial. The case itself, we'll get back to the dial in a second, is large, it's sharp, it's cool looking, it's interesting, it's definitely bold. You can see it there on the wrist. Let's put this watch on. It is, you know, one of the more unique designs out there, and definitely an avant-garde watch. You actually have to cut, I think, part of the strap to size it. There, look at that. That is big. That is. They say it's 48 millimeters wide. I measured closer to about 50 millimeters wide. It wears actually remarkably comfortably for the size, and if you want something that has a great big bold look to it, the Klepcys is definitely the watch that you want to have. I've wanted to wear one of these for a long time, so I'm really excited to be reviewing it because it is just so different, and I love showing the dial to people and asking them, do you know what's going on here? Do you understand the features of this watch? And most people have no idea what's going on until I show them. Before I talk about the functionality and the movement, I want to say that on a watch like this, the clasp is, you know, and this happens from time to time, the clasp is really sharp. You can see some of these sharp edges and things like that. It almost looks like a knife in some areas like that. And I like to joke sometimes about these watches that are, you know, designed in a way that it's difficult to polish them properly and adhere to the sort of the core design without removing sort of, you know, some of the aesthetics. But when you don't polish it the right way or don't round some of the edges, it's sharp, you know. It could be like a weapon. This is by no means the only watch that's like that, but I always kind of get a kick out of that. Anyway, so the movement inside is automatic actually, which is cool, and it tells you the time, date, and it has a moon phase indicator. And here's the moon phase right here. It's a three-dimensional moon, and then there's this red shroud which actually goes over the moon, which acts as the indicator of what the phase of the moon is. And that's really cool. I like those three-dimensional type of moon phase indicators. So the way you tell the time is you have this little indicator here, which is the hand for the hours, and it moves across this outer scale here of the minutes, and the inner scale is the seconds. So the time right now would be 2:20. I'm sorry, yeah, 2:20. And I'll show you how you adjust the time here. So I'm going to show you. So I'm moving this right here up, and you can see that both the hour hand and the minutes ring turns, but you read them together. So now we're moving to, I guess it was 1:20 before. So yeah, now it's 2. Now it's 2 going between 2 and 3. So it's 2:10, 2:20, 2:30. And it goes up. But this is something, it gets even more interesting. You see how it's red? Those little cubes are red there. They're actually small little cubes. They actually also act as an AM/PM indicator. So red would be PM, but then when it gets to a particular point, it's actually not AM/PM. It's more like day-night. So rather than doing it at 12 o'clock, it actually does it closer to 6. So it goes here from 6, or I guess it would be, there we go. So it's basically saying, at about 6 o'clock at night, it's transferring over to sort of you know, AM time there, or 6 a.m. I guess. So 6 a.m. it would go to AM time. Now here's a really cool part. It's a retrograde hand, so this would be about 12 midnight, and then it jumps back. Isn't that cool? And then you can do that again. You can see closer to about 6. I guess that was 12 in the afternoon. See here, it switches again. I love seeing those little things turn around. See the little cubes turn? And then I guess this would be 12 a.m. I get. So yeah, so it's red when it's nighttime. Here, now look at the date indicator right here. This is really cool. It's all cube based. Isn't that cool? So the date here operates, it's also really, really clever. You have here a scale 0 through 9, and then you have a cube, and the cube turns, and the cube obviously has various sides, so it has a 0, a 1, a 2, and a 3. And you push this pusher here to adjust it, so I'll show you how it works essentially. It's just super fun to play with. Again, it's also retrograde, so now it would be the 11th, 12th, 13. See, there's the 20th. Now here's what's really fun, because of course there aren't like 35 days in a month. So here's the 30th, so watch what happens here. So it goes to the 31st and that's it. Just super fun, great tactile experience. Really, playing with this watch is as fun as it is to tell the time. I think that Jean-Francois Majon did a good job of creating an interesting movement, and Cyrus, has these sort of wonderful designs and just cool stuff. And the Klepcys really does sort of epitomize all the avant-gardeness that the brand is about. On the rear of the case, you can see what looks like a small gold coin. It's actually a replica of a coin from the city or the region Cyrus 2,500 years ago, and the original coin is owned by the brand. And I don't know if it's all of their watches, but all the Klepcys watches have this little replica of the coin in the back of the case, which is kind of an interesting touch and sort of goes with the theme of the brand. All these watches are limited edition, so you can see here this version is a limited edition of just 33 pieces. So it's a very exclusive watch. I don't have the specific price of this version right now. A couple of years ago when I wrote about the gold version, it was $100,000. I think this one is a little bit less, but you can see the price in the full review of the Cyrus Klepcys on aBlogtoWatch soon. Thanks.